The Antonov An-225 Mriya was a strategic heavy-lift cargo transportation aircraft. It was put together by the Antonov Design Bureau, ADB, of Ukraine. Mriya in English means inspiration or dream. The Antonov An-225 Mriya's codename for NATO is Cossack. Cossack can carry 250 tons of cargo and is the heaviest fixed-wing aircraft to do so. It was a massive aircraft that made other aircraft look tiny compared to it. An Airbus 380 liner is 11 meters smaller in length than an Antonov An-225. Let us take a deeper look at this aircraft and understand why it is held in such admiration all over the world. History: only one Antonov An-225 Mriya has ever been completed, and the construction began in the 1980s. All around the decade, the An-225 was being worked on. Finally, it took its first flight on December 21, 1988. Several modifications took place in between the first and the second prototypes that were designed. The fuselage and wingspan were lengthened, 2 engines were added, the tail was redesigned with twin vertical fins, the number of landing gear wheels was increased to 32, and the back cargo doors were removed. Additionally, the aircraft's maximum gross weight was increased to 640 tons from the past maximum gross weight of 600 tons. This was due to the added floor area below, which was done under an upgradation program that cost $20 million. From 1988 to 1991, it was primarily used for the transportation of Buran-class orbiters for the Soviet space program. A plan for another An-225 was under work, and production started too, but it was never completed. The production started in the late 1980s, and in 2009, it was abandoned. Variants: there are 3 variants of the Antonov An-225 Mriya. They are the An-224, An-225-100, and the An-325. An-224 is the original induction of An-225. The difference is that the An-224 has a second back cargo door. The An-225-100 is an improved model of the An-225. It has improved communication gear, navigation equipment, and a TCAS. TCAS stands for Traffic Collision Avoidance System and is very crucial for commercial operations. A supplementary engine was added in the An-325 on each inboard pylon. The size of the carrying payload increased because of this. Design: the Antonov An-225 Mriya could carry twice the cargo than that by Boeing 747 freighter. It had 20 steerable wheels and 32 wheels for the landing gear. The nose gear had 4 wheels, and the other 16 wheels are in the posterior of the 18-wheel main gear. The An-225 Mriya was the size of a football field and had 1.32 million pounds, 598 tons, of maximum takeoff weight. For it to carry such heavy cargo, the engineers of Antonov fitted it with 6 engines, where each of them is capable of giving off 51,590 pounds of thrust. The cargo hold of the Antonov An-225 Mriya was an impressive 142.1 feet. The width was 21 feet, and it had a height of 14 feet, which was enough to hold 50 cars. The main cargo bay had a built-in crane that could lift 22 tons of cargo in a single lift. Additionally, it had a side cargo bay and an engineering bay that could hold 4 crew members. The cockpit could be accessed with a retractable ladder. Engines: the engines are considered to be the most impressive technological feature of the An-225 Mriya. With its fuel tank at full, it could travel approximately 9,569 miles. This was primarily because of the power generated by its engines. All 6 engines were ZMKB Progress Loaderev D18T turbofan jet engines. All of this power meant that it could reach a maximum velocity of 528 miles per hour at an altitude of 36,000 feet. The engines were fitted with a thrust reverser, an exhaust nozzle, a combustion chamber, a jet pipe, a fan turbine, an intermediate drive, a drive box, a fan wheel, and a fan stator blade. The length, width, and height of the engines were 5.4 meters, 2.7 meters, and 2.9 meters respectively. The engines weighed 4,100 kilograms and had a service life of 24,000 hours. Features: it had a cargo handling system with which it could carry out loading and unloading easily and quickly. It had an IFR-compatible and completely digital flight deck. It could accommodate up to 6 crew members, including a pilot, co-pilot, radio operator, navigator, and 2 flight engineers. The aircraft could take a full turn on a runway of 60 meters width. This was helped by the posterior fuselage that consisted of 16 wheels fitted to the main landing gear. Destruction: the world's largest plane, unfortunately, got destroyed during the Russian invasion of Ukraine in February of 2022. The Russian military first targeted the Antonov airfield, where the An-225 Mriya was being ready for evacuation purposes and was scheduled to leave on the morning of February 24. After a photo that was tweeted out showing the destroyed aircraft, Ukroboronprom released an official press release on February 27, where it was stated that the Antonov An-225 Mriya had been destroyed. Ukroboronprom has mentioned that they are planning to rebuild the aircraft, holding Russia responsible. The estimated budget has been declared to be $3 billion, and the time to rebuild the aircraft is thought to be around 5 years.